Thank you. Any more questions from the commission first, please? All right, audience, please, sir, step forward to the microphone.
Yes, ma'am. My name's Stephen Melton, spoke there. I neglected to say something a while ago that I intended to. Being a combat veteran myself, there, from the best numbers that I can find from the DAV, there's approximately 495,000 disabled veterans in the state of Tennessee. And I know some of these guys. And what we said about our trails disappearing and having a place to ride, a lot of times these guys cannot see what we have here in our state because they are not physically capable of hiking or riding a horse or riding a bicycle. A motorized off-highway vehicle is the only way that they will ever get to take part in any of this. And I ask that Mr. Carter and the commission bear that in mind as you make your decisions.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Could I respond to that? Number one, thank you for your service, and I do not say that lightly. Number two, the commission tomorrow is going to be talking about things for our disabled vets, not necessarily OHV related, but that has a big place in the heart of this commission. And again, I would respectfully offer to you, there needs to be more dialogue and planning, and that is not a cold water statement. But I want to see the vets have opportunities in these states as well, period. And that's a commitment I have. And I think that's a commitment of every one of these commissioners. So, no, that's important to us, but I will not act on something that I don't see a complete plan for. And I think you would say that's fair as well.
Commissioner Cox?
Can I make one follow-up comment? Sure.
Yes, sir.
Again, Bob Yarbrough, I understand totally. I've been at these meetings from the start when this thing started in the 90s. I've been involved in it since then. When TWRA took it, okay, from Gary to Nat to Ron Fox, I mean, I've been meeting with people for years, okay? We've been 8 years into this thing. I'm still willing to come to the table. I've literally been all over the country. I know California's to Hatfield McCoy to anything. But there's some urgency along with the education. We try each year to move this forward. And again, I can meet tomorrow, I can meet Monday, I can answer questions, but that's the only thing I'd like to stress. There's been a lot of time. We've been sitting here ready to go. So let's try to, if there's nothing else, let's have the dialogue to where you do get familiar with it, understand. I'm willing to put together, I did this, I've done it twice for other people, to where we can get the entire group. We can have seats to where you've got an open seat, come out for a day and trail ride. We can do that, and then you get better understanding of what you're talking about, because I guarantee each one of you have a different thought process right now about what motorized recreation is. But I'm not going to take a lot of time. I just want to convey those thoughts because I've been through these for years and years now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Cox?
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but he mentioned again the disabled veterans and that kind of thing. I don't know how this conversation got to where it appeared that the commission was against this or the agency was against this because of where somebody lived or how much money they had in the bank. That's not it. The problem the agency and the commission, in my experience, was that in the first place, it didn't pay for itself after the farmers and the hunters were taken out of the picture. Wherever you put this program, you have to sacrifice that piece of ground because it's going to get eroded and torn up. I've been there and seen the pictures. So it's the cost, the administration, the enforcement, the environmental concerns, and you're going to take 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 acres and it's going to be sacrificed to be destroyed. So that's the problem or the perception of the problem that the agency and that I have, because I've seen erosion of property that's 10 feet deep, before and after pictures. You can't even see a transport truck down in this wash. So I think it's not about where somebody's from or how much money they got. That's not it. It's about the cost and the environmental concerns of, and frankly, I'm surprised that you said the Forest Service was on board. Parks and Forestry and turned it away, and TWRA didn't take it. TWRA was forced to take it. So, because we had royal blue. So I think, I agree with, Commissioner Cannon that a lot more detail needs to be discussed, but it's not because of anybody's social status.
Anyone else? Anyone in the audience? Iva?
So let's just be very clear, y'all want to do what?
I think we'd like to take some time and just reintroduce this, especially some of the new commissioners,
Okay,
and get with Director Carter on what that looks like for the agency, and
Okay.
then move forward with it.
okay.
I've got one question
Go
or
ahead.
suggestion or whatever. This is, and again, you're right, this is all new to me too. And I love to ride four-wheelers, by the way, but, for me, you know, I think we all have concerns and questions and stuff like that. And one of the things that would help me, as this process goes, is examples of places that does work, like for instance, the Hatfield-McCoy system that I understand is pretty well managed and so forth. And, you know, I know my concern is sort of like Bill's, you know, it's, you don't want to go tear something up. And is there a way that you can utilize the property and the land without tearing it up? Well, apparently, from what I understand, there are places that it does work. I'd just like to see that, because so far, for me, you know, when I ride around and when I do my little thing, it is rutted and it is tough, and you have to take care of things and be careful. But if the next time, like we're talking about, if you can prepare yourself, plan on what you want to give to us, specifically for me, at least, I'd like to see, you know, some kind of answer or some kind of situation where you can say, okay, this is what we're talking about, and this is the good stuff. This is the good part. If that makes any sense.
Ms.
Yeah.
Russell, before you speak.
Yes,
You said Mike's pretty direct, and I'm pretty direct too, so I'm gonna answer your question pretty darn direct.
great.
My expectations are, personally, that your folks get with our staff and develop a plan, or at least the outline of a plan of what this thing could look like. When we implement this, personally, I want to see this to be of the quality that our voting enforcement plan is.
Absolutely.
We need to be the benchmark. I don't have anything today to do that. And I want to hear from our staff too, not just your group. I'd love for you all to come in here holding hands and lay out the plan, and then I'm ready. That's my personal response on this anyway.
And absolutely, and I apologize for this being a fire hose. I really do. We've been in this for a really long time. All the people in the whole wide world have already figured this out. We're just wanting to move forward. This technical advisory committee that came as part of this legislation addresses, this legislation doesn't micromanage. It just gives authority. That's all. And it funds. So I guess it really wasn't a holy cow, we're going to throw this at you kind of thing. This was empowering legislation that allows Director Carter to create the technical advisory committee and to also create the funding mechanism so that next year, because nothing happens fast in Tennessee or in government. And like I said, we've been at this a lot. So this isn't what was passed, by the way. I just kind of showed it, said, hey, it was 2002. It was kind of a viewpoint. You can go on to Title 70, Chapter 9, and read the whole thing yourself. That was totally gutted. But anyway, this is empowering legislation, and it's empowering legislation, and that's what this would do.
Well,
So I guess I don't have the answer.
We appreciate it, and it was a great presentation. It's
Thank
just a
you.
lot for us to take in, and it's a very serious issue.
It's a very serious issue.
Once you do something, it's hard to go back and change things, so we want to make sure it's the right one. And so we appreciate everyone that came today, and you as well, and your comments, Director Carter, but we will move forward fervently at looking at what we need to do here.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, and we just hope to figure out solutions.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, moving on, the Retention and Recruitment Committee recognizes Don King, Chief of Information and Education.
Thank you very much, Chairman Schuster. Appreciate the invitation to come and share a little commercial spot that our audio-visual team has put together here. I'd like to commend Todd Mazaris and Jason Harmon for contributing to putting this together, and Lee for helping cover some press coverage with this, and especially thanks go out to Commissioner Stroud for helping put this contact situation together where we could go out to Charlie Daniels' recording studio and spend a whole morning with him. He set aside a whole morning, and Commissioner Stroud met us out there and kind of made some introductions to Charlie and his folks, and we had a great morning. Charlie did a great job on the spots, and as a matter of fact, we were able to cut 7 separate messages, and we've prepared one to show you here in just a minute. But it was fun to work with him in that we had, of course, scripts prepared and that sort of thing with the messages that we would like him to deliver. And on 3 occasions, after we had the prepared script in the teleprompter and all, and he had read through it, he said, "Now let me do one and just kind of Charlie-ize it." And I said, "Great, go for it." And so he would ad-lib a little bit and have fun with it, which is exactly what we wanted him to do. And so anyway, we appreciate the ability or the opportunity to go out there and work with him on this, and look forward to some other occasions too that Commissioner Stroud's working on, and we appreciate that very much. And beyond this spot, we will also convert these over to plain audio spots that we'll be using on the radio. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that you might hear one of these on the radio on the way home. So those went out this month in the mail to our normal mailing of radio PSAs. So if you want to dim those lights for us, it goes by in a hurry. It's only 30 seconds long.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I'm here for your Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. You know, I think the greatest thing my daddy ever did for me was to take me hunting and fishing. Stuff that I never will forget as long as I live. We live in Tennessee. It don't get no better than that. We got some of the best hunting and fishing and some of the most beautiful country in the world. So why don't you make some memories that'll last you a lifetime? Take somebody hunting or fishing, somebody you love, make you feel real good.
Like it enough to want to see it one more time? It's only 30 seconds. Yeah, look close. You'll see some familiar faces in here.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I'm here for your Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. You know, I think the greatest thing my daddy ever did for me was to take me hunting and fishing. Stuff that I never will forget as long as I live. We live in Tennessee. It don't get no better than that. We got some of the best hunting and fishing and some of the most beautiful country in the world. So why don't you make some memories that'll last you a lifetime? Take somebody hunting or fishing, somebody you love, make you feel real good.
All right. And so anyway, we'll just look forward to that being the first of many that you'll see on the airwaves and hear on the radio in the times to come. And I just appreciate being able to share that with you. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Don.
Thank
That's
you.
pretty exciting. It's going to be great to see that. And Commissioner Stroud, thanks for your part in that as well.
Yeah, you did a great job. We're trying to, just 2 seconds, we're trying to get some of our great Tennessee country artists and artists in general to embrace what we're doing here. I think and we all agree that, when you have someone like an icon like Charlie talking about these kind of things, and you have other artists that we've already contacted and we'll be scheduling, it'll be a nice series, especially for this year, I think, to really make people aware of what we're trying to do and the fact that we're trying to move this thing in a positive way more publicly and in a different way because you're coming from a sort of a entertainment side of this thing, preaching the wildlife gospel. So,
Definitely will make an impact. Thank you so much.
sure.
Commissioner Woodson?
I just had a question first. I think this is really cool, and I really appreciate the TWRA team, Don, and the Commissioner staff for doing all this. It's really cool. So I have a question. Is there a link right now if we were going to send someone to one of these messages, this one in particular, or is this about to be launched up? Is this something that, whether it's through social media or anything else, we can share?
It's just begun to hit the airwaves, and we will have it posted on our web.
Okay, whenever it's convenient, I'd love the link and I'll share it. So, sorry, don't rush it, sorry, I apologize. I know what happens when folks start asking questions. So, when it is convenient for the team, let us know and we'll share it out. But Commissioner Stroud, thank you, that's cool.
All right. The Retention and Recruitment Committee recognizes Kirk Miles, Region 3 Wildlife Program Coordinator.
Thank you, Commissioner Schuster. Well, we've certainly started the new year off busy in Region 3. We just finished a 10-day hog control season on Catoosa, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But I'm here now to talk about the 22nd Annual Sandhill Crane Festival in Region 3, which will be this weekend, January the 19th and 20th. It'll be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. both of those days. And I was trying to figure out how to tell you guys what all was available there, invite you there, and kind of just pretend I'm your travel agent. And if I was telling you how to spend your day there, this is what I would tell you. Number one, if you have kids, bring your kids because it's a family event. Number two, dress warmly because I think I've spent some of the coldest days of my life up there watching the Sandhill cranes. I would get there early and I would start at Birchwood School. They're one of our sponsors. If you get there early enough, you can have a good hot cup of coffee and get some breakfast, a biscuit, a sausage biscuit or something in the cafeteria. And then take your kids to the children's area. And there's all kind of children's activities there, face painting, all that good stuff. And you can leave them there and start browsing the vendor booths, sponsor exhibits. Check out the library because there'll be scheduled presentations going on in the school library. The two things you probably want to make sure you don't want to miss when you're at the school is the live raptor presentation that the American Eagle Foundation will be doing again this year. And also we have a storyteller, Brian Fox Ellis, and he's really good. He's a really good storyteller. He tells stories about just about anything you can tell a story about, but Native American stories. He does a James J. Audubon impersonation and story that's really, really good. So you don't want to miss those. And in between all that, there's going to be live music, even featuring Don King. Where's Don? There he is. So when you take a rest for a little bit, you can listen to the live music. Then have lunch, again in the cafeteria. After lunch, get on a shuttle bus and we'll take you over to hopefully the showcase of the event, over to the Hiwassee Refuge. And there you're going to enjoy watching the Sandhill cranes, whooping cranes, endangered species, bald eagles, golden eagles. There'll be folks there with you, TWRA and TOS folks, to give you an idea of what you're looking at and looking for. There'll also be presentations at the refuge, so be sure and check those out. And you know, I mentioned the cold weather. If you see a skinny guy in a TWRA uniform, that we always have a barrel with fire in it, and I'm always over there. So come talk to me. I'm pretty friendly. To end your day, get on the shuttle bus again and go over to the Cherokee Removal Memorial. They'll have Native American performances and demonstrations there. You can walk the grounds. It's really neat, and make sure to visit the Overlook. It's a really great place, another great wildlife viewing area for especially bald and golden eagles. Sometimes they fly by that bluff and they're just right there in your face, and it's really neat. So that's what I would recommend. If you stay overnight, I would start the next morning, Sunday morning, back at the refuge and try to catch the cranes coming off the roost early that morning and flying out to feed. And then just a great weekend. The great thing about it is it's free. I think that's another great thing. I probably should mention the sponsors because we wouldn't be able to do all this without them. Of course, TWRA, Tennessee Ornithological Society, the MAP Foundation. This is the second year they've made significant donations to the Crane Festival. Of course, the Birchwood community, the Birchwood School, the Cherokee Removal Memorial, Blue Moon Cruises, Olin Chemicals, and Meigs and Ray County Tourism. Also, I should mention one thing. I'm glad I remembered, yes. We recently acquired 68 acres of land directly adjoining the existing Hiawassee Refuge. Critical in that whole process of acquiring that land, we worked with the Land Trust for Tennessee. And there's some significant donors that helped us get that. On Saturday, we will be having a dedication on site on that new acreage. So anything else? I'm also going to take Blue Moon Cruises is going to take a special tour on their cruise ship, or it's not a ship, I guess it's a big boat, on their big boat out in the river channel and get a different perspective on the cranes and ducks and everything.
Thank you, Kirk. I appreciate all that the agency puts into it. It's really a neat event, and I know there are a lot of people involved, but the agency definitely puts forth a lot of effort, and it's really fun. I really enjoyed last year where they had someone close up to the cranes in a blind, and then it was shown on the screen inside the viewing area, and
Yes.
that was pretty cool. So definitely worth going out. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Brown. That completes all the business from the Retention and Recruitment Committee.
We've had a request for a break, so let's take a 10-minute break and come back at that time.